Please go ahead and hit that raise hand function button for us now. We'll start here on the front row. Mike is coming around. We'll begin with Jeremiah Oshan, followed by Masvidal.
You seem to have a heated conversation with the refs there after the game. I'm assuming it was about Jackson's yellow card. If you could just, what did they tell you about that, or what was the conversation about?
He said he showed Jackson a yellow card for dissent, for when he stopped the play, when that's a technical flaw. They continued to play, and so there was no head injury, there was no nothing. He didn't need to stop the play. He shouldn't have stopped the play. That's fact number one. And then fact number two is Jackson throws his arm up and kicks the ball back to where the spot of the foul was going to be, and the referee thinks it's directed at him. So Jackson's, letting that moment get to him, should have just left the ball alone, should have just let it go. That's the referee's interpretation, that's what he said, but the ref made a technical error. He shouldn't have stopped the game. Everybody knew the guy wasn't injured. Should have waited to give Kim Ki-hee the yellow card after the ball was out of play. That's the correct play in this particular instance.
Brian, are you concerned about lack of awareness by your team and composure? I would say, you give up 2 goals, it's 3-2, maybe you slow down the game, or an awareness of, do you have some concern about that, or is that something you need to talk to the team about?
I mean, at 3-2, I thought we had control of the game, and I thought we pushed them back, and I thought our possession was good. Third goal just started with Jonathan Bell, Jonathan Bell, sloppy touch. They go down, Christian's on a yellow, Jackson, they don't want to make a tackle inside the box. I mean, that goal could have been prevented. If you're talking about the 2 penalties, let's just address that, 2 games in a row. I mean, Christian doesn't see the guy coming. Kim Ki-hee needs to get a better clearance. So that's 1. It's a different player than the other 2. Then second penalty, I mean, Andrew's a young goalkeeper. And, he needs to stay on his line. The guy's not going to score on him from there. So, what am I going to say to Andrew? He tried to make a play. He's a young goalkeeper. He's going to learn from that moment. He's going to be fine.
Jada.
Brian, it's actually 6 penalties in the last 4 games for y'all. Is this something where you need to evaluate or have a conversation with the team?
Well, it would be if it was a trend of the same player, the same foul, the same, circumstance. We talked a little bit about, going out in the second half and starting well, because what happened in Kansas City. We came out in the second half a little bit flat. Well, we came out in the second half, we scored the 3rd goal, and we should have been flying. So I don't see a trend there. I think it's isolated incidents, but I'll certainly reflect on it.
And then just the other thing, some of the players looked like they were, kind of gassed a little bit there toward the end. You didn't make that many rotations. Is there a reason why, as far as the starting lineup, and then
Well, I made 5 subs. I made the maximum allowed subs. 1 at halftime, 1 in the 60th minute, and then 3 when guys' legs were given out. So, there's a lot of games I haven't made 5 subs.
I mean, the starting lineup.
Well, the starting lineup, they had the 3-game week. There's an extra day rest between Saturday, Wednesday. So that to me was better than, Wednesday, Saturday. We needed to come back home and build our momentum. So I decided to start basically the, first group. And again, 3-0. That was the right decision at that moment. And then, the game got away from us.
Nico.
To piggyback off of that question, Brian, just the wingers come off in the 79th minute. The other 2 subs are Yamar and Mosovsky. did it feel like maybe there could have been some more rotation to the guys that have played more minutes, like the pivots and the wingers coming off the last game?
Maybe. Yeah. Sure.
And in terms of your subs, what did you feel like maybe they needed to do better to impact the game to what you wanted him to do and the role you
I
intended
thought
to?
Kim Key was fine. Jordan was good. He was energetic. Ryan and Pedro didn't have a ton of time to make an impact. Maybe you could say 10 minutes of added time, so that's 20 minutes. Sometimes it's hard to be a sub, but they need to come on the field and make an impact. Ryan Kent certainly showed that he could do it earlier in the year. When he first came here, he was making a big impact coming from the bench. Christian and Obed, a little tired. Albert, is pretty durable. But, the wide guys are the guys that have to do the most running.
No.
Coach, I know it's a frustrating result, but I'm going to be the guy who asked the positive question here with Obed Vargas getting a all-star nod and then also scoring in this match. Just how you're feeling about that, and he seemed pretty durable as well.
Well, he's a great kid. It's a great story. I don't know how much longer Craig can hold on to him, but we'll see what we can do, see what happens. But it's a deserved nod. It's a nice touch by Nico Estevez. He understands the value that Obed brings to the team, and whether you say the goal's lucky or not, deflection or whatever, he put himself in dangerous situations. That space, top of the box, I thought he did a good job tonight, and credit him for the goal.
Another positive question. Obviously, limited minutes for Yamar, but first day back in a while. What did you see from him, and what did you maybe like about his play or things you needed to work on, that sort of thing?
He was extremely good. Great to have him back. Hit all of his marks pretty early because he was working hard. We've missed him, so it was a positive.
All right, we'll go over to Zoom. Felipe, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Alex. Coach Brian, obviously your frustration was seen at the end of the game. And then right now, your frustration is more because the Colorado tied the score, or because the referee performance, or a combination of both?
Well, I don't complain about referees. They have a hard job. He makes decisions. It impacts games, yes. But I'm more frustrated about our team and, us being able to close out games when we go up 3-0. And especially at home, that scoreline 3-0 should have been game over. And certainly away from home at 3-0, that game should have been over with a little less drama. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do to help the players to get through some of these moments and play a little smarter, be a little bit more determined, a little bit more tougher in certain moments. And, then, when you score 3 goals, you're going to win most of your games.
All right, we'll come down to Nico.
Coach, on Albert Rusnak's goal, was from a good amount of distance away. Could we get your thoughts on Albert's goal and his overall performance, how he dealt with the backline pressure from Colorado as well?
That's a classic Albert Rusnak goal. He brings the ball this way and he shoots it between the guy's legs on purpose into the far post. Classic Albert goal. I know he wishes he had that one in the first half earlier. He should have scored there. The goal that he scored in the first half, the play, it's just heads up, awareness, vision. Albert was great. He was very good tonight. He was very effective.
And leading up to Albert's goal, Fredetta put on a lot of good pressure onto Zach Steffen. Just wanted a quick question, get your thoughts on his performance as well.
Yeah, Jesus has been doing a lot of good things. He's been doing a lot of good things, and that's the one sub that maybe I'm going to reflect on. Did Jesus have a little bit more in the tank? Does he do a little bit more defending? We'll see. I'll rewatch the tape, but Jesus was very good tonight. He's a good connector. He made an impact in the game.
All right, we'll come back around to this side. Jada, still a follow-up? No, you're good? Okay, Noah?
Brian, it seemed like from around the 60th minute till about the end of the 80th, 90th minute, you weren't able to get a shot on target, and it felt like the Rapids were really just surging and pressing. Was that a tired legs kind of situation, or did they really just get out after it?
Could have been us, tired legs. Obviously, momentum was in their favor with the 2 penalties. They were going to raise the level of their play. We had to try and change that momentum. Extending the possessions in their half of the field might have helped. But, yeah, the momentum swung with the 2 penalties.
Miss anybody here? Steve, Reed, good. 1. We'll take 1 from Sports Media Institute.
Hello. Oh, you hear me. Okay, so my first question is, what was the disconnect between? All right. What was the disconnect between the first and second half? It feels like, we came out of the half with two goals, and we came out in the second half with a goal, and then just kind of fell apart. 3 points. So what's your view, and what can you guys do better? Can you guys do better?
My view on draws like this is they feel like a loss. We came out in the second half, and the first 4 minutes of the first half or second half were good. The penalties obviously changed the games. What can we learn? What did I tell them in the locker room afterwards? They need to reflect. They need to reflect on the little details that it takes to become a top team. I think we have the potential to be a top team, but, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot too often. MLS is too tight of a league, and the standings obviously are very tight, so these home games are critical. It was 2 drop points for sure.